Hello, class. Okay, so here is the calendar. So this is the video for 2.4, and you can see here that 2.3 and 2.4 are being assigned today. So again, the way the calendar works, this is the assigned date. Okay, this is the assigned date. And even though you generally have a week to complete the assignment, you have to remember that you have these coming up in a couple of days. Okay, so 2.3, 2.4, you really should start it on this night, Tuesday the 23rd, and you should really finish it within 2-3 days. Okay, that way you can start working on this one because you always have one coming up. Okay, so 2.4, try to finish both of these by like Thursday or Friday. Okay, let's go ahead and begin. Okay, so here with 2.4, I'm going to break it up into 3 videos. So this first part is about writing equations of lines. Okay, so 2.4, writing equations of lines. Take notes. And also have your phone ready in case you need to message me any questions while you watch this video. Okay, so let's just recall standard form and slope-intercept form of lines. Okay, so we have standard form. So that's when the x term and the y term are on the same side. Okay, it looks like this. And maybe the requirement is that a has to be positive and a, b, c are all integers, so no fractions or decimals. Okay, and we also had slope-intercept form. And that's the one where the y is by itself. Okay, so we looked at these two forms of the equation of a line. Okay, so now we're going to look at how do we write the equation of a line if we're given certain pieces of information. Okay, so writing equations of lines. Okay, so if you take a look at these two here, okay, so if you take a look at these two equations, let me go ahead and give you an example with some actual numbers. So like, for example, here, you might have 2x minus 3y equals 6. Okay, and then over here, an example of slope-intercept form would be something like this. Y equals negative 4x plus 3. Okay. All right, so when you're writing the equation of line, you always need the slope. Okay. So we always need slope. Okay. If not given, so if they don't give you slope, then use slope formula. Because usually if they don't give you the slope, they'll give you 2 points, and you can find the slope of 2 points by using the slope formula. Okay, and if you forgot what that is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, so we need the slope to write the equation of line, and we need 1 point. Okay, so we just need one random point on the line. Okay, if they give you a lot of points, if they give you 2 points, 3 points, 4 points, 5 points, if they give you more than 1 point, then you just have to choose one. So if given several points, just choose one. Okay, so those are basically the two things that you need to write the equation of line. Okay, and then once you have those two things, once you have the slope and once you have the 1 point, then you can use point slope form, which is y equals mx plus b, okay, to find the equation. Okay, so you would use this to find the equation. All right, so let's take a look at an example. Write an equation of the line with the given table of solutions. So we have to write the equation of the line here, right? And if you recall, let's go look at the very top here. The equation could be written like this, or it can be written like this, right? It can be written like standard form or like this one, slope-intercept form. So let's do both. That way you can see. Okay, so write an equation of the line with a given table of solutions and write the answer in, so A, we'll do slope-intercept form, and then we'll do standard form. Okay. All right, so here is your table of solutions. All right, so you have the point 3, 4, and you also have the point -3, -10. Okay, so maybe you're used to seeing this problem, but instead of writing the solutions in a table, they give it to you as the point 3, 4 and the point -3, -10 using the parentheses. Okay, either way, they both get worked out the same way. All right, so it says here we need the slope and we need 1 point. Okay, well, we have 2 points, so we're good there, but we do need the slope. And it says here if we're not given the slope, then we'll use this slope formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So let's go ahead and do that because we already have 1 point. We have 2 to choose from, and we can just choose one of them. All right, so we need the slope. Okay, so it's like there's 2 parts to this problem. We need slope. Okay, so we are going to use this formula. Okay, so we're going to use this formula. And so I'll call this x1 and y1 up here. That'll be my x1, y1. These guys will be my x2, y2. Okay. All right, so my second x, well, let's start with the y's. My second y, negative 10, minus my first y over my second x, negative 3, minus my first x, which is 3. Okay, so for the numerator, I get negative 14. And for the denominator, I get negative 6. Okay. Both of these double negatives cancel to make positive. Okay. And then here they are both divisible by 2. So I get 7 over 3. Okay. All right. So now I can go ahead and choose one of these 2 points. Okay. Right? Because it says here, this is what we need. We need slope, and we just found it. And we need 1 point. If you're given several points, just choose one. All right, so, and it doesn't matter which one you choose, because when you plug it in, everybody's going to get the same value, whether you use 3, 4, or if you use negative 3, negative 10, everyone will get the same value over here for B. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and choose a point. I'm going to choose the first point, 3, 4. Okay, so I'm going to choose this one. Okay, so I know my slope is 7/3. Okay. And the point that I'm going to be using is the first one, 3, 4. Okay. So I have my slope and my point. And again, that's what we need. We need slope and 1 point. And we have that. We have the slope is 7/3, the point is 3/4, and here 3, 4. And so now we're going to use this to find the equation. Okay, so what we end up doing here is we have m, we have an x value, and we have a y value. So here we have an m, we have an x value, and a y value. So what happens is we use this to solve for b. Okay? All right, so let's have a look. So now we get to use y equals mx plus b. Okay, so we're going to plug in for the y, the m, and the x. And those values are right here. There's your y, your m, and your x. Okay, so y is 4, m is 7/3, x is 3. That's convenient. Okay. And b is the one we don't know, but we can solve for it. So having x as 3 is convenient because that actually cancels out our fraction. So we end up with 4 equals 7 plus b. And now I can solve for b. Okay. And I get negative 3 equals b. Okay. So here I have a b value. And here I have an m value. So my equation, so here are my answers. Slope-intercept form, right? Y equals mx plus b, because it says up here, it says, write the answer in A, slope-intercept. Oh, slope-intercept form. Okay, and then B, we'll write it in standard form. So let's do part A, slope-intercept form. Okay, so we have our slope. We use these and plugged it into here to find B, which now allows us to write the equation. Once you have m and b, you can write the equation, and it's going to look like this, slope-intercept form. So y equals m x plus 3. So 7/3 x minus 3. So this here is slope-intercept form. Okay, and now we need to do part B, which is standard form. So standard form, the x and the y term are on the same side, and then they are not fractions. Okay, so let's go ahead and get it to look like this. So right now, I have this one, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do is take my slope-intercept equation and transform it so it looks like standard form. Okay, so standard form, we don't have any fractions, so I'm going to go ahead and clear my fractions. So if you remember to clear the fractions, we multiply everything by the common denominator. Well, we only have one fraction, so the common denominator is 3. So I'm going to multiply everything, all 3 of these guys, by 3. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to multiply this by 3, this by 3, and this by 3. Okay, and that will cancel my fraction. Okay, so remember, standard form, no fractions. All right, so here 3y equals 7x minus 9. So we are almost in standard form. The x and the y term have to be on the same side. So minus 7x. So negative 7x plus 3y equals negative 9. For me, I like the old classic definition of standard form where all of the numbers are integers, no fractions, and also a, which is the coefficient of x, is positive. So let's go ahead and multiply everything by negative 1. 7x minus 3y equals 9. So there we have it, standard form. X and y term are on the same side. All the numbers are integers, and x's coefficient is positive. Okay, so that's how you write the equation of a line. They might ask you to write your answer in slope-intercept form. They might ask you to write your answer in standard form. Or they might ask you to write your answer in both slope-intercept form and also in standard form. Okay, so make sure you're familiar with both. Okay, so let's just kind of recap how this was done. Write an equation of the line with the given table of solutions. Write the answer in this form and this form. So remember, you have 2 points. So you find the slope, and then you know the slope, choose a point. Again, it doesn't matter which point you choose. If we chose -3, -10, we still would get -3 for B. So if you try it right now, hit the pause button and do it, you'll see. You'll get -3 for B if you use -3 and -10 instead of 3, 4. Okay. So we find our slope. We choose a point. We have m, x, and y. So we use this, and we plug in for y, we plug in for m, and we plug in for x. They're all right here. Y, m, and x. Okay? And we solve for b. Once you have these two, m and b, you can plug them right into here. There's your m, there's your b. And that's slope-intercept form. Okay? And then you manipulate this one to get your standard form. Okay? Okay, so, and with your standard form, we don't have fractions, so clear fractions. And we want this first term, this x term, to be positive. So multiply by negative if you need to. Okay. All right, I'm going to have you guys try one. And then we'll end part 1 with this. All right, so try this one. Same directions, okay? So same directions. Write the equation of line. And let's do it one in standard slope-intercept form. So we'll do that one. Slope-intercept form. And B Let's do standard form. Okay. So write the equation of line. Here is your table of values, 2, 8, and 6, -8. Okay, so go ahead and try that. Hit the pause button, look at your notes, and see if you can come up with the equation of this line. Definitely at least get this one A, and then try to get that one. Okay, hit the pause button. I'm going to go ahead and work this out. I'm actually going to write the answers first. Okay, just a second. There's a knock at the door. Okay, sorry about that. I don't have a pause button on my recording app. Okay, so here are the answers. So hopefully for A, I will work these out, but if you got this for A, you are correct. And if you got this one for B, there should be a Y there. Okay, if you got this one for B, you are correct. Okay, so if you missed either one of these, let's go ahead and watch how this is worked out. Okay, so we need our slope. So let's do that. Part 1, slope. Okay, so again, we're going to use this, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, so again, I'll use this here as my second point. This will be my first point. Okay, so y2 is -8 minus y1, which is +8. And x2, my second x, is 6, and my first x is 2. So here we get -16 in the numerator and 4 in the denominator, and that simplifies to -4. Okay, so we have our m. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and choose a point. Okay, so we know m is -4. We need an x and a y. Again, it doesn't matter which point you use. I'm going to use the first point, 2, 8. Okay, so the point that I will use is the first one, 2, 8. So this is now my x and my y. Okay, so now I'm going to use y equals mx plus b to solve for b. Okay, so I'm going to plug in for y, m, and x. And they are right here, y, m, and x. Okay, all right, so 8 equals -4 times 2 plus b. We don't know b. Okay, so I get 8 equals, that's -8 plus b. Solving for b, I'm going to go ahead and add 8 to both sides, and I get b equals 16. Oops. Okay, so I have my m over here, and I have b over here. So I can write my answer for letter A. Letter A, standard form. I mean, not standard form, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. Okay. And then for standard form, I'm going to take that answer and I'm going to bring the x and y on the same side. So I'm going to go ahead and add 4x. Okay. And I get 4x plus y, because standard form, equals 16. And we don't have any fractions. The coefficient of x is positive, so we don't need to do anything else here. This is my answer for B. This is my answer for A. Okay? All right. So again, if you have any questions, make sure you email me or message me through the Remind app. So this is only part 1 for 2.4. This is done in 3 parts. Okay. I'll see you in the next video.